Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, the Report of the Week. Thanks for checking in. I'll start this review off with a question. Let's just get right into the questions. Let's get into the big stuff right here. What do you do when you are faced with indecision? When you can't make up your mind about something, what do you do, right? What's your process for handling that? Obviously, this is something that we face on a daily basis, pretty much. It's a part of life. So there's got to be something that we do to navigate through these situations. Today, for instance, I was thinking about my ensemble, what I'm wearing. I thought, I don't know if this vest really goes with this suit. I was faced with a crisis. What do I do? And then I thought, well, yeah, duh, the same thing I do every time. I think to myself, what would a Wingstop chicken sandwich do in this situation? And I thought, it just wouldn't care. It would just put on the suit. It's a chicken sandwich. And then that also reminded me, oh yeah, Wingstop's chicken sandwich is back. May as well try it out. So that's where I am now. This is a very straightforward chicken sandwich. There's no need for any sorts of notes because there's really not much to say about it. It's a $7 chicken sandwich. It's a breaded piece of chicken, a breaded, fried, chicken fillet. It is drizzled in any one of Wingstop's wing sauces. The most common one is their original hot sauce. So that's what I got this sandwich in. It's got the sauce on it. Again, it's fried, it's breaded, it's a crispy chicken sandwich, has pickles on it. Of course, it's on a bun, and that's all that there is to it. Now, here's an interesting note. When it comes down to these sorts of establishments and chicken sandwiches, obviously there have been a lot of places over the last few years, really since 2019, that have released chicken sandwiches. I mean, there are so many. You've got Popeyes, you've got Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, KFC, Burger King. Every place that pretty much can release a chicken sandwich has at this point. I thought the chicken sandwich craze would be over by now, and clearly I was wrong. When this sandwich was released, back in July, I think it was, it sold out pretty much instantly. It sold out within a week. It was continued to be promoted for a while, but really it was sold out nationwide. The hype was there, the demand was there, the interest was just up. It was just through the roof. Here's just something that I'll say, and I'm not trying to take shots at Wingstop here, this goes for any place. What I've noticed when a major release occurs, and then let's say it sells out, right? So I'll use a few examples. Back in 2018, Taco Bell released their nacho fries for the first time. It was a huge deal. They sold out very quickly. In 2019, Popeyes released their famous chicken sandwich. Sold out quickly. And so on. You have items like this that there's a huge amount of that initial hype, and then they sell out, right? Because of the demand, the interest. A lot of people are thinking about it. When they bring it back for the second time, this goes for when they brought the nacho fries back in June of 2018, or when they brought the chicken sandwich from Popeyes back, I think it was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. The interest is still there, but when that second wave release, so to speak, comes back, when they bring the item back, when it makes that return, the level of hype, it's kind of there, but it will never, ever match that initial wave of interest. So the way I interpret this, the hype for this item has pretty much passed. Doesn't mean that people still aren't thinking about it, or they might not be curious about what it is. Of course, people are still interested in this, but it's just not at that level where everyone's looking for this and everyone's talking about this, etc., like it was back in July. Merely this item, it's just like, oh, all right, well, I guess they got the sandwich back now. So in terms of applicability, I just say that because I get that's how the situation is. But me personally, I've been trying to find this for a while. finally got my hands on it, and I thought, why not? Let's just try it out for the fun of it. So, without further ado, the Wingstop chicken sandwich. Like I said, I think I mentioned, very straightforward, very to the point. It's a $7 sandwich. First thing I want to outline is the box, a styrofoam container it looks like. And I don't know how well it's going to show up on the camera. I think you can kind of see it now. It's an oily box. That's not my oil smudge on the top there. All the oil is in my hair to begin with. So that's just part of the sauce. I think it's just a very oily, oil-based sauce. Wingstop. I think I also mentioned that it's in the original hot flavor. You could kind of see, well, again, I don't know if you really can, but there's some oil residue already on my fingers just from handling the box. So I mentioned that just so you could be ready for that, because it's probably going to be an oily sandwich. And there it is. There is the blessed Wingstop chicken sandwich. You could see the bun, the chicken fillet, crispy, breaded, the pickles there, and you could see it is doused in the sauce. It takes up about 60% of the bun, I would say. There's definitely some empty space, as you could see. But wow, look at that sauce. I kind of remark upon that because if it seems like the color is very, very highly saturated, very vibrant, it is. I don't mess with the colors in these videos. I just let it display as it does. So it looks like someone put some red paint on this sandwich pretty much, because that's indeed what it looks like. Let me actually take the top bun off just so you can get a look at the pickles right there. And then I am going to, there you go. There's a view of it. Given that this sauce is oil-based, I have a feeling that it might not really come off my hands after I eat it with just a standard napkin. I got the sink right over there, so I think I'm going to walk over to that after I eat and wash my hands. So, that said, you know what the sandwich looks like, you know what it's all about. Now it's time to find out if it's any good or not. The Wingstop chicken sandwich going in. I was talking about clothing earlier in the review. Here's a little bit of chicken sandwich trivia. What is a chicken sandwich's favorite article of clothing? Right? What do they like to wear the most? Gloves. You know why? Because chicken sandwiches like gloves. Yeah, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick, and I'm just gonna step right over there. I'll leave the camera rolling, why not? I'll be right back. See, I'm right here. It is very oily, so definitely had to go all out with the hand washing this time around. So, way I interpret the sandwich, a few pros, a few cons. Sometimes I wonder, when an item is so hyped up, when an item is so... Well, you saw the demand for this. You saw that a lot of people were talking about it, a lot of interest, sold out very quickly, etc. But sometimes I wonder, when you have these really hyped up items, it'll make you expect more than you necessarily will get, because you think, this has to be so good. Everyone's going and getting it, everyone's talking about it, it was sold out within a week, so this has to be better than all of the other chicken sandwiches, right? I wouldn't necessarily say that, so I'm just trying to throw any sort of bias in that regard out the door right away. And I know I've kind of... hasn't been here for 12 minutes just yet, but I do want to say, if you just want to get out of here, all I'll say is this. It's alright, it's not as good as what the hype led me to believe it would be, so there's the review pretty much. The good things first. Let's get to the good stuff. The sauce is very flavorful. Now, you could choose any sauce that you want. As for me, personally, I went with their original hot sauce. I think that's the sauce that it really gets advertised as having. That's the sauce everyone talks about, and the sauce is good. As you could see, there's a good amount of sauce, very generous sauce distribution. Provided that you're biting into the chicken fillet, there's going to be sauce in every single bite. And that is good. Because I still have some residue, that doesn't matter. And that's good. Very spicy, has a lingering spicy aftertaste. Definitely that real spicy bite. It's almost a little acidic in a way, but it's not bad. It's a good sauce, potent, spicy, flavorful, complements the chicken sandwich nicely. Makes sense that this is their most well-known sauce, and it is that way for a reason. Spicy and flavorful, I think exactly what you would expect for, a spicy buffalo chicken sandwich. So that's good. It's a good wing sauce, goes well with the chicken. All right, that's good. Nice and crispy too. Has a nice crisp to it, and that's what we want to see as well. Well breaded, flavorful breading, but it's not hard to the point where it'll break your teeth or anything. So nice crisp breading on the exterior. Pickles are fine too. Nice little tang that they offer as well. All right, so those are the good things. Definitely some good characteristics about it. The not so good things, the bad things. Quality-wise of the chicken, it is lacking a bit, I'll say that. And it's not just... I got some wings along with this sandwich. I just got a couple bone-in wings this time around. I tried one or two out before I started the camera, and they're fine. Wings are totally fine. So it's something with the chicken fillet here that just... The meat isn't as tender as I expected it to be. It's not as juicy as I expected it to be. If anything, it's a little tough, if anything else. Not to the point where it's like, all right, this is inedible. But certainly when people talk about this thing like it's the best chicken sandwich you'd ever have in your life, and then you bite into it and it's like, all right, well, I'm just not really getting all that much from the chicken fillet. That is a bit disappointing. And again, what I got, the meat is a little tough. It's really lacking in any unique flavor of its own. I just taste the spice of the hot sauce, the tang of those pickles, and otherwise the chicken itself is really just overwhelmingly salty. It's almost as salty as it is spicy, which is interesting. Likewise, the bun itself is a bit on the drier side. Now, the wateriness of the sauce and the oiliness of it, it kind of seeps in, and it does add some moisture to it, so that's not the biggest problem. I'm more concerned about the quality of the chicken itself, which, in my case, appears to be lacking, and that's certainly not what we want to see. So, in summation here, quality-wise, it's a little iffy. Sauce is good. The breading is good. Pickles, fine accompaniment. It's a little pricey. It's a $7 chicken sandwich. And I mean, quality-wise, the chicken is just a little bit of a letdown. Like I said, it's a little bit dry. It's not all that flavorful. It's a little on the tougher side, which is not good. And when you see people just raving about this, you already expect more to begin with. And then when there are some aspects of the sandwich that are, in and of themselves, what you would even define as subpar, that's a bit disappointing. Now, I don't know if it's just the Wingstop that I went to or what, but this is just something that you need to be aware of. So, there are better chicken sandwiches out there than this. There are worse, but if you do want to try a chicken sandwich that's still kind of hyped up, still has a lot of sauce on it, hey, maybe give this a shot and try it out for yourself, see what you think. With that, factoring in the price, factoring in the experience, factoring in the quality, factoring in all of these things, out of 10, I'm going to be giving the Wingstop chicken sandwich. Like I said, there's some good, there's some bad, but it's definitely not overwhelmingly good. As a result, I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. If that chicken quality were improved, this would definitely be bumped up, probably into the high 7s, maybe low 8 out of 10 range. But what's called a chicken sandwich, that chicken has to be good, lacking in that regard. All right, on a final note, I do a radio show in addition to these reviews. One thing I mentioned in the last video that I did, and I'll just reiterate it here, you've probably heard in the news, you might have seen it, this is a real world situation and it has major implications. Rising cost of energy definitely has global implications, and that is impacting my radio show, especially for listeners over in Europe and Russia. I heard from the transmission provider, they said the rates are going to be increased substantially around New Year, and that's kind of putting things into a lot of uncertainty in terms of the future of my broadcast. So understanding those higher costs, if you want to help support this broadcast, help keep it on the air, your support is appreciated. You could access exclusive content as well at patreon.com/TheReportOfTheWeek. That's patreon.com/TheReportOfTheWeek. You could find out more information in the pinned comment or in the description. But I'll keep you all updated on the situation, and if you want to support it, that's how you can do so. That's all that I have for you. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.